Hello and welcome to the patch notes for patch 2.6, The Reaper's Due for Crusader Kings 2. Now, this is quite a big patch and changes a lot of systems in very interesting ways. But it's not going to change. I don't think it's going to change the base way the game is played. I want to read through it anyway, and I thought I might as well do it and record it for you guys so you can hear my thoughts if you want to hear them. Okay, first things first. Revised Black Death and Epidemic mechanics, in that they actually matter. Like before, you just kind of got a plague, sometimes people would die, not that important. Now there's like major outbreaks, so places become depopulated, places become, like they get less prosperous if they're actually, if there's a disease there, they make less money, you get less manpower, it's a big deal. So that's pretty cool. Seclusion decision. So basically this is similar to hiding. So if somebody's trying to kill you with assassination, you go into hiding. If someone's trying to be ill near you, you go into seclusion. Except you bring a whole bunch of other people there as well. Hospitals, counter plague. Fairly simple. Prosperity. Now this is a new mechanic that I quite like. I think I need to see how exactly it works, but I like the concept. Basically, the better you do in a province, less disease, all that sort of stuff, the better you rule it, that'll increase prosperity, which then gives you bonuses like, I believe it's like tax? Yeah. Prosperity increases the tax and levy regain of a province while reducing the revolt risk. Fantastic. This sounds like a pretty cool mechanic. If you're really good at actually controlling the government and making sure things run well, you will get more stuff. And if you're good at avoiding plague, like reaching the important provinces that you have, then you'll also get good stuff. Revised Maim traits. Now, this is great. This is going to be great for the Game of Thrones mod in particular, which already has a kind of system like it, but I like that it's in the game by default now. So basically, characters won't just become maimed. They get, a certain thing happen to them. Like, they can lose a hand, they can lose a leg. That's all great stuff. And I like that it can go further. You get, like, different graphical things. Good system. New character disease system. You can become ill in all sorts of different ways. Have no idea how this is going to work in character. Whether it's going to be cool, whether it's going to be annoying that you can't know exactly what you have. Like, whether you're going to have to know what each thing does or whether they're going to follow a set pattern. But it sounds cool in concept. Court physician. So basically this is kind of like, they're kind of like a smaller scale hospital, a cheaper one by the looks of it. Like they just make sure that you don't get diseases and things like that. Sounds alright. Not sure how good they are though. Prisoner interactions. Depraved rulers can now choose to torture or mutilate their prisoners. Well, I mean, it's cool that you can do new cool things with prisoners. Prisoners before are kind of like, kill them, ransom them, let them go. And most of the time you just, like if you can't ransom them, you might as well let them go if they're noble because, well, there's no reason not to, otherwise you're just annoying people. Or you kill them if they're not noble because there's no reason not to, and it actually improves game performance each person you kill. So, sounds like a good idea. But yeah, things like being able to publicly humiliate your foes sounds excellent. That sounds like something that is a way to do a bit more direct interaction with other characters, a way to lower their standing without just killing them, things like that. Life and death events, they get more flavor. Cool. Free features. So this is a bit that I really like. I think this is fantastic, this first one. Game rules have been added to the game. Whenever you start a game, you can change the rules to customize your experience. This is fantastic because it takes away the need for a ton of mods. Like for instance, defensive packs. some people really hate them. But if you need to just turn them off, then what's the problem? Same with Shattered Retreat. As long as if there's support in the game, you can just turn it off. Aztec Invasions. No longer will you forget to turn off Sunset Invasion. You can just click it to off on the game rules, and you never have to worry about it again. You don't have to turn off your DLC in the launcher, which is a bit, it's a bit of a pain when you have a lot of DLC to scroll through. Great. All of that is fantastic. It's also going to be great for mods. Like for mods that, like the not Game of Thrones mod, it doesn't have it. The Warhammer mod. Right at the start of the game, when you start it, it says, do you want to play a canon experience or a non-canon experience? And then, you know, you can just have that as a game rule. You just set it to canon or not canon. You don't have to have the event at the start. Your game can just start as normal. It's really it's just great overall. Next one. Old Succession screen is being replaced with one that is more elaborate. Cool. Whatever. Added events that added events through which one can get female counselors. Alright. Added a release tributary option. Yeah, all of these are just kinda not big deals. Added a decision to recruit prisoners. Possibly that could be good. If you're like a raiding group, you could go around, you could look for who you want to join your court, and then you could aggressively try and raid those locations to get them as a prisoner to then try and recruit them. That could be cool. Added a decision to ask characters to leave your court. Now that's also interesting. Like if you have someone who's causing you a lot of problems, you can just say, can you leave? And that would be great. Like if you don't want to deal with the lunatic who keeps having plots to kill you, you just ask them to leave and they'll stop trying. Added decisions for Hindu merchant republics to claim the Vajshia caste. I don't know what it is, but if you're playing India, presumably you'll be happy about that. Added a confirmation event when you expel a holy order to avoid expelling them by mistake. Great. I like it. I hope they have the same thing with mercenary groups, because you can accidentally just disband a whole bunch. Maybe they already do have it with mercenary groups. I don't know. Been a while since I've used a lot of them. Added a continue button to the launcher. Cool. Like, that's great. I liked it in EU4, like it in this. Added lots of new nicknames. Adds a bit of flavour. Stops everybody just being, I forget what the default ones are, like the Holy or something like that. No. Changed and optimized compression to improve Iron Man saving. I really hope that this actually works. And because I like playing Iron Man occasionally, but you know, it does take a little bit of time. Like whenever you have Iron Man on, that save time is killer. There is now an event informing the world when a crusade/jihad ends inconclusively. Cool. That means that you'll actually know what's happening in the world. Opposed to it's like, was there not a crusade going on here? I thought I remembered a crusade. Yeah, you know, you don't need to do that. Skilled or ambitious female vassals may now demand a seat on the council. Great. Added an event to rename Middle Francia to Austrasia if no longer held by Carling. I have no idea what the context for that one is, but sure. Way of Life. Added a bunch of new events for the war focus. I like adding new, new focus things in the Way of Life. Way of Life seemed so cool, but it's not really fleshed out and big, which in a way is cool. It's good. It's just like a little bit if you want to add to your game, but it's not needed. I like the war focus allowing you to get leader traits. Leader traits are really useful. Because right now it's just like increases your martial, which doesn't really help very much in what you actually want from it. Like 9 times out of 10, if you were going for min-max, you probably want to go for hunting, because hunting gives you the martial and it gives you the health, so you're less likely to die and you get the other benefits from not dying. The war focus, now that it gives you leader traits, is great because now you can actually you can push yourself to lead armies. It's really good. What's next? Added a bunch of events for the theology focus where you retreat into solitude to pray and reflect upon your life. Maybe that's interesting. It does mean the theology focus has some more stuff going on with it. Family focus can now also remove rivalries between close family members. Very good. I think also if you were playing like a Republic or something, that would be great, because you could start to like if you saw 2 of your people fighting each other and you really actually wanted to have like an heir and a spare, like, you know, to fit in, you can make it so they don't have a rivalry anymore, and you can, you know, you can make it so that you actually have a confirmed succession going on here. The Old Gods added some stronger versions of the Viking trait. Cool. Wonder what they are. Wonder how good they are. Wonder whether things like the Game of Thrones mod is going to take it, because I believe they changed the default Viking trait to Reaver. So I wonder whether they're going to use the extra levels of it. Added targeted decision appoint Shield Maiden for Norse pagan rulers, which grants eligible female characters the trait Shield Maiden as well as access to the Commander Minor title. Cool. And there's trading events for that. Combat events where a Shield Maiden can save her liege on the battlefield. Good. Event chain for befriending a Shield Maiden. Alright, cool. And added 2 decisions for defense of pagans. One to worship the ancestors, where an sacrifice can lead to different outcomes in a chosen area, and one to summon a band of devout warriors when getting invaded by religious enemies. Very interesting. Next one we're looking at is balance. Alright, well, let's see what happens here. Okay, this is, I think, is meant to be a section, like this bit up here. This is meant to be like probably like bolded or something. Can we do that on this? Nah, can't. Okay. But yeah, this is all one section. This is separate from anything else. Restored manual call to arms. Good. Like being able to call people manually if you want to. Call to arms from allies can be declined again. I also think that's probably good. You're able to very easily trick the AI with alliances currently, and you say, hey, we'll have an alliance. We're kind of sort of friends, right? And they'll say, yeah. And then you declare war on a huge power, and then they're stuck in it. So that's good. Adds defines to enable/disable autocall. Cool. That's useful if you want a mod, I assume. Added major opinion penalties to alliance breakers. So that's better. Instead of just saying you have to accept the alliance, what they're saying is you will be majorly punished for not accepting the alliance. So it still gives you an option. I hope it's more severe than something like EU4, where if you don't accept the alliance, it's like, I got lost 25 prestige. I hope it's a big like penalty, like negative 50 or something. I think that would really change whether you do it or not. Especially as I think there's some opinion that passes on and things like that. So you really want that to happen. Added temporary alliance breaker modifier. Gives -5 diplomacy. That combined with an opinion penalty could really destabilize your realm slightly. If you're like a newer ruler. If you've been playing for, like, if you're a ruler who's like 50 years old, had 40 years of ruling or something, not going to be a problem, I don't think. But if you're like someone who's just inherited, you really don't want to go into a war with the Holy Roman Empire, could be useful. Made Alliance Breaker and Truce Breaker temporary modifier duration scriptable. Yeah, that's good. I always like more things that the modders can do. AI will consider dissolving alliances with alliance breakers. So if you have an alliance with someone else and you break an alliance, they will notice and they'll be thinking, alright. And they're unlikely to accept alliances from alliance breakers. So yeah, this is gonna, basically if you don't accept that call to arms, you're gonna be in trouble for a much longer time. Fixed a bug that prevented vassals from joining wars against tyrants. Alright, cool. Can no longer call ally to war if ally has a non-aggression pact with the defender. Yep, that makes sense. Alliance breaks with attacker if you accept call to arms from defender. Alliance breaks with attacker if you accept call to arms from a defender. Yes, that makes sense. Wait. So, let me get this straight. Can no longer call an ally to war if an ally has a non-aggression pact with the defender. Alright. Okay, I get it. I was thinking that those two things were counteracting each other, but they're not. AI can no longer... the AI no longer calls all allies into a war, but only tries to get more than 1.25 times the opponent's strength. So they don't go over the top with their alliances. I guess that makes sense, in a way. Yeah. Does mean that the AI wars aren't going to be as one-sided. If it's like a close war, but someone has a lot of allies, it's not going to be that one-sided. I don't know if that's what they're wanting, or if they want it so that if the AI is attacking a human player, they don't want there to just be an alliance swarm. I don't know. Maybe. I wonder also whether they'll call people in if they go below that 1.25 times the opponent's strength. Like, if you get a good battle, will they then call more people into their war? We'll see. Okay, Flanders is now part of France. I think I remembered some people wanting that to happen. I'm not sure. Brabant is now part of Lotharingia. Some cultures are no longer split power rulers. We're just going to kind of go through these till we see something that's useful, basically. Okay, Hungary, Nolan Criers, Magyar province to form. I don't think many of these are that interesting. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's ridiculously interesting in here. We're just going to keep going down until we can spot. I think we should be fine here. Double the positive opinion modifiers from granting landed titles to someone. That's a huge one. Well, I mean, they already tend to love you already, but that means they're probably always going to be 100 opinions. So that's a great way of getting someone to really, really like you. Or getting somebody who hates you to turn into somebody who really likes you. Reintroduce the bankruptcy character modifier, which reduces army morale by 25% when the ruler has negative wealth. That could be a big one. That could be a really big one. Not seeing anything else here that's really jumping out at me. Dynamic mercenaries are no longer prevented from marrying. Could be useful. Or could be interesting to use. Loyalist councillors will now vote against law proposals started by someone other than their liege. Ah, that sounds like a bug, more than a balance fix, but okay. Courtiers who have minor titles, friends, lovers, consorts, or rivals are now excluded from the court pruning system. I'm very happy about that. That means that you won't have characters just randomly disappearing if they actually have a purpose. Okay. But they tend not to disappear when they were in your court anyway, I think? Could be wrong about that. Horse Lords. When conquering nomad land as a non-nomad character, the following will happen. A basic tribal holding will be constructed. The nomad culture and religion will be preserved in the province. Nomad agitation province modifier will be added. On succession, if a character holds provinces with the nomad agitation, they will automatically secede the realm unless one of the following is true. At least 2 buildings have been constructed. Okay, so basically it's a thing, so if you're conquering nomad land, it gives you a kind of like an event chain to actually get them to be underneath you. Okay. Raiding adventurers can now properly invade and claim land from nomads. Good. If they are the same culture, they will become the clan chief. If they aren't, they'll become a tribal vassal. Alright. When you choose to settle as tribal, your clan chiefs will settle along with you. Now that's good, because I seem to remember that when you settled, you just lost half your land, because all the clan chiefs were just like, I'm not coming with you. I'm just going to go and I'm going to continue being a nomad. And then it was like, so you'd never want to settle because you just basically ruin yourself. That's good. Or it may have changed since last time I played a proper nomad. The pillage holding decision has been remade. I will now pillage the selecting holdings progressively once every 6 months until it's destroyed. Okay, cool. And you get some more flavor, and it's basically a toggle. Cool. When choosing to settle as a nomad, the provinces that flip to your culture will now try to border each other. When choosing to settle as a nomad, the provinces that flip to your culture will now try to. Alright, so it'll try and have like a set number of provinces flipping, and they want them to be all near each other, opposed to just being randomly scattered. That makes sense. Silk Road has been changed. It's been extended. Alright. Nomad succession now includes a wider range of close relatives. Way of life, intrigue focus, spy on. Nerf the chances of abduction and murder unless you have master schemer. Yeah, it was OP. Added 1 health to the theology focus, gives you a reason to take it. Carousing focus, you now invite people to a new party 90 days after the last one, down from 500 days. Makes that more useful. It means that you can have a lot more parties, means that you can have a lot more opinion bonus. Move theology and hunting focuses to the on-focus pulse. To on-focus pulse. I have no idea what that means, but that's probably a modder thing. Seduction focus. The rebuff opinion modifier no longer lasts forever. Well, I mean, that's probably good. AI improvements. Army AI. Armies would hunt irrelevant armies, vassals of the enemy. Definitely useful. Fixed province prior issue where revolts. Priority issue during revolts against the liege. Yep. Fixed some ping-ponging. Yep, seen a lot of that. Like most of this is, I'll believe it when I see it. Improved priorities versus rebels and landless invaders. Yep, because you should just go kill their army. It should no longer attempt to pursue shattered armies. Basically, I think what the AI did before on this improved priorities, I'm now remembering it. I think what they would do is if the rebels siege something and then walked away, the AI would go and try and unsiege because that's what they do. AI unsieges and then they siege. But I assume for this, what it'll be like, they'll deliberately go for the army itself. And then if they take it out, the sieges automatically get taken away, so why would you go for the sieges? You know, it's simple. Should no longer attempt to pursue shattered armies. That's not necessarily a good one. I would really hope that the AI would pursue shattered armies, because that's the way to win. Like, a lot of wars is to pursue the shattered army and then kill it and make sure the army never returns. We'll see how that works out. Restored focus on occupying provinces. Okay. Tweaked AI behavior scripts and seduction events. Vassals, head of religion will now wait to declare crusades things until their liege can join. Makes sense. Added another anti-spam method for AI versus players regarding marriage and betrothal proposals. I got a lot of that in the Game of Thrones mod. Very annoying. Fixed a problem with marriage proposals. Okay. Tweaked education to avoid AI rulers getting stressed or making rivals of their wards. Good. AI will no longer accept marriage betrothals to people with contagious diseases. Well, I mean, that makes 100% sense. AI characters will no longer waste favours asking for a vote that is guaranteed to fail due to council members having promised council support to the liege. Okay, good. They'll use favours for other things, presumably. Non-nomads should be far less keen on taking empty provinces. For nomads, that's probably due to the thing that we saw earlier. With the new kind of event chain of having to build multiple buildings. It's a costly measure. Fixed the problem where high-ranking rulers may never marry. Yeah, that's good. Fixed an issue with landed AI councillors not marrying. Again, good. I actually didn't know that was an issue, but now that I think about it, it does seem to happen a lot. AI rulers will now allow voters to actually vote on law changes when you run the game without conclave. I didn't know that was a problem. Very good that they fixed it. AI rulers will no longer usurp the titles of their liege, since they'll almost always get revoked or usurped back. Okay. AI rulers will not torture, mutilate, blind, or castrate prisoners of their liege's dynasty or anyone when they have under 100 piety. Okay, so they will be a little bit more careful about who they actually, who they harm. AI will now cancel its ambition more often. Good, some ambitions just stay there when they're impossible. Well, almost impossible. AI will evaluate threats in a more logical way. Wonder what that means. And the marriage of AI is improved. I wonder what that means. Offer non-aggression pact interaction now weights in political concerns. That's useful. Fixed AI repeatedly requesting vassalization, concubines, and betrothals. Okay. Fixed some cases of allies being inactive incorrectly. Okay. The AI no longer revokes and regrants titles to the same characters. I mean, that would just be silly. The AI should no longer revoke Nomad Clan titles, and the AI will no longer repeatedly make and break betrothals with the same character. Yeah. That specifically is what happened a lot in the Blackfire series that I had. They would break the betrothal between two of the Targaryens, then they would say, "No, can we have a betrothal?" And I'll say, "I thought I just said yes to this." Interface. Don't need to read the interface. User modding. Don't think we need to read the user modding, and I think that might be the end of it. Database. Don't need to read the database. Bug fixes? Nope. Although I like that there's a lot of them. And that is it. Now, apparently, it also increases performance, this patch. Like, it will drastically increase performance in the late game. Basically, from what I can tell, they do a large amount of culling of characters at certain points now. And they'll do it more aggressively as you get later on in the game. And that's why they had to put in all these new things to stop people from being cut. Like, if they're a lover, or if they're a rival, or if there's X, Y, Z. That's why they put them in. is so that they can cull it a little bit more effectively. So they can do like more aggressively doing it without actually affecting the game. Like you won't, they're only going to remove people who are unimportant, which I like. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my Crusader King series where we get to try all of this out. See you then.